The quiet storm brewing behind the scenes in Lakers land might just shake the very core of this franchise's future. Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat, because today we're peeling back the veil on the hottest all-season rumor fused with hard trade realities that could rewrite the Lakers' perimeter defense blueprint. For months, whispers have relentlessly linked Andrew Wiggins, once a Golden State Warrior, now a Miami Heat wing, to the Lakers, a tantalizing prospect that fans clung to amid a backdrop of defensive struggles and identity crises on the wing. Since the days of Showtime, when magic happened in Emerald City and beyond, the Lakers have sought to couple offensive brilliance with lockdown defense. And that tradition was only amplified during the Kobe-Shaq three-peat era and carried through the 2010 back-to-back championship runs. Even the 2020 bubble championship was underscored by two-way excellence. And now, as we stand amid the 2025 season's early headlines and the ongoing quest for rotation, stability around LeBron James and Anthony Davis, not to mention ensuring the emergence of Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura's versatile scoring and defensive impact, the perimeter defense has become a glaring issue that Jason Frey's latest report finally crystallizes. You see, Marcus Smart's arrival was meant to be a salve for those holes, providing grit and defensive credibility, but truth be told, the Lakers still lack a wing defender with the athleticism and size to truly shadow the league's alpha scorers. Standing in the 6'6" to 6'8" range, the kind of players LA faces night in and night out in the Western Conference grind. Now enter the drama. Andrew Wiggins, the 30-year-old with undeniable talent, but a contract stretching just one more year beyond this season with a hefty $30 million. Player option for 2026 to 27 was recently reported by NBA insider Brett Siegel to be open for trade talks, but at a cost that echoes the Lakers' past high-stakes gambles under Rob Pelinka's caproom chess game. Miami Heat reportedly wants an immediate impact player plus a first-round draft pick before 2028 in any deal for Wiggins, an asking price that reverberates like those seismic trades from the Showtime days. Think Magic and Kareem's big moves. Yet this isn't a franchise superstar. It's a veteran wing whose fit must be evaluated against the aging curve and salary cap constraints. And here's where the Lakers' dilemma deepens. They hold first-round picks in 26 and 28, ticking the box on the draft capital front. But who exactly is that instant impact player? Dalton Nett's recent rocky tenure, including an up-and-down rookie campaign, a rescinded trade involving Mark Williams, and a stumbling summer league showing in Vegas, woefully undercuts his trade value. Austin Reeves, the beloved hard-working spark plug, isn't going anywhere near this equation, signaling clearly that any player exchange will orbit around someone like Rui Hachimura, whose own journey with the purple and gold has been nothing short of inspiring, a steady scorer and defender whose current production arguably rivals that of Wiggins. This introduces the toughest questions yet for Lakers fans. Is swapping Hachimura for Wiggins really an upgrade, or simply rearranging deck chairs on a ship that's destined to face the Western Conference's ruthless currents? And what about the ripple effects in the locker room chemistry? How will LeBron's vision for this team's defensive identity fit with Wiggins' streaky defensive moments and sometimes inconsistent offensive output? As Rob Pelinka continues to maneuver simultaneously on the buyout market, potential blockbuster deals, and subtle rotation shakeups aiming to glue together a more cohesive outfit for the postseason surge, the idea of landing Wiggins continues to tantalize, but remains clouded by skepticism and strategic uncertainty. But here's the under-the-radar bomb no one saw coming. Despite all the noise, the Heat's high asking price might ultimately steer the Lakers away or force them into a high-stakes gamble that tests Pelinka's legendary risk appetite, a gamble reminiscent of the bold moves that defined past championship dynasties, yet also risk fracturing the team's delicate balance. Will the necessity to defend the perimeter trump roster continuity? Could this potential acquisition ignite the same fire that led from Kobe's arrival to the 2009-10 back-to-back trophies? Or are we staring down another offseason of close but no cigar moves that leave fans desperate for a championship? That feels ever so elusive. As a lifelong Lakers believer, my pulse is racing just writing this, imagining the echoes of buzzer beaters, the sweat-drenched practices at the Forum, and the feverish roar of Staples Center's faithful sounding. The war cry once more. The question hanging in the air is electric. Does the pursuit of Andrew Wiggins mark the ignition point for our next title run? The missing piece in this evolving puzzle, or is it the crack in the foundation that will split our legacy further apart? Drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand, ready to debate every shard of this purple and gold saga with you. A lightning bolt shatters the twilight sky over Crypto.com arena, and my chest tightens like the final seconds of a buzzer beater that could rewrite every rule we hold sacred, because that's exactly what Rui Hachimura represents right now. A thunderclap of potential wrapped in uncertainty, vibrating through the very marrow of this purple and gold formula. You can taste the tension, thick and electric, wafting from the hardwood up into the stands and seeping into every corner of LA's smog-dusted skyline. Because make no mistake, this isn't just a trade rumor, it's a tectonic shift threatening to fracture the fragile chemistry that clutch moments are born from. Imagine the locker room, thick with unspoken questions. LeBron, the king whose every move reverberates like history's echo, locking eyes with Luka Doncic, the maverick craftsman whose arrival promised to reset the balance of power both of. Then staring across a chessboard where Rui is the wild card, the variable nobody saw fully mapping out. It's one thing to flip assets and projections, but trading a cultural beacon like Hachimura risks opening a cavernous crack beneath the foundations of identity and trust. You feel it in the quiet moments before tip-off, the way Marcus Smart's defensive harangues slice through the purple smoke of pregame rituals, or the way DeAndre Ayton hulks under the rim, demanding respect in a conference that's getting quicker and meaner by the night. The Western Gauntlet is not a rumor. It's a ravenous beast circling and snapping a Denver squad with its scars and swagger, a Phoenix team blossoming with relentless hunger, and the Clippers still grinding with a poison in their veins, fueled by past near misses. And the Warriors? They're quietly sharpening their knives, choosing when to strike based on our missteps. Rui, at his best, fills a niche as a floor-spacing forward who doesn't shy from contact, but somehow falters under the unforgiving weight of interior combat and defensive rotations. Growing pains turn glaring weaknesses when the stakes skyrocket. But here's the blind side no one's shouting about. Pelinka's calculus isn't just dollars in defense. It's a gambit soaked in high risk and raw ambition, a move aimed at unshackling this roster from cap hell to potentially unlock a seismic trade or luring a bailout star whose arrival might send tremors through the title race. And that's where the pulse quickens. What if this very trade, this pivot away from Rui, fuels the arrival of a dominant rebounder with shot-blocking artistry, a modern-day Shaq energy to take the minutes that could shrink LeBron's load, and forge a new defensive identity? But then, the haunting counterpunch. At what cost? Because peeling away Hachimura stabs deeper than balance sheets. It unsettles locker room equilibrium, testing veteran buy-in and rookie faith. Max Christie, once heralded as a silent assassin in waiting, becomes a price tag on the chopping block, or perhaps the caged asset sacrificed on the altar of windmill. Every passing whisper of potential draft pick targets not a player, but a future that might slip through our fingers, reframed as collateral damage in the gladiatorial arena of NBA politics. You can almost hear the stale echoes of Showtime's golden days, a reminder that championships are won in moments when trust becomes unbreakable, chains binding a team's soul. But what happens when the chain frays, when a single link is traded away? Will LeBron, the ultimate general, absorb this shakeup with the serenity carved by years of battle? Or will the wear reveal fractures in a legacy already bruised by the relentless march of time? And where does Luka fit in this equation? That once-in-a-generation talent whose partnership with LeBron could either ignite a dynastic blaze or smolder into a combustible keg of egos and unmet expectations. The gamble isn't just about rebounds or spacing. It's a full-scale experiment in identity, and you feel the nerve endings firing in the stands and the locker room alike, a collective breath hailing and hitching all at once. But what if the gamble backfires? Imagine the thunderous pyrotechnics of fan bar arguments spilling over into palpable doubt, a faction of purple and gold loyalists rallying behind the hope that Rui can morph his weaknesses into strengths versus a faction convinced the team must shed emotional baggage to evolve. At the intersection of global marketing and on-court dynamism, Rui's presence is a bridge no franchise can easily replicate. A mainstay in LA's cultural tapestry, reflecting a city and team straining to expand its horizon beyond the hardwood highlights. His off-season pilgrimage through sumo traditions and ancestral pilgrimage isn't just headline fodder. It's the visible pulse of a player forging resilience and mindset beyond the NBA grind. That emotional gravity may tip a fragile scale in his favor among players and fans who see him as more than just stats, but as a symbol of transformation and hope. So when the front office brings offers and counteroffers, what rules the final verdict? The cold calculus of championship windows or the incendiary heartbeats of legacy and market identity? You can almost hear the hum of panic under the arena. Lights on nights when the Lakers struggle on perimeter defense. Every blown rotation a dagger twisting in the gut. The crowd's roars turning toward anxious murmurs, sensing vulnerability in a team that demands perfection. Meanwhile, rookies like Adu Tiro, rising into roles with raw passion, scan the bench for signs of a future, shaken or strengthened by the moves above. And somewhere in a Los Angeles morning haze, Pelinka and his brain trust weigh every angle in silence, knowing one move can cascade into a season lost to what-ifs and near misses. But here's the clause in that deal nobody's talking about. Any trade that involves Hachimura could trigger a domino effect on luxury tax implications. So volatile it might give the Whisper network in front offices across the league a collective case of whiplash. The Lakers might be forced into maneuverings that strip away depth or force a buyer's remorse scenario by midseason, when injuries and mounting pressure sharpen every flaw. Yet the silver lining, the glint in the swirling maelstrom, lies in the intoxicating possibility that shedding this imperfect piece could lure in a defensive titan with rim protection so ferocious it transforms the Lakers from a team with holes into a fortress. Imagine a season where LeBron's minutes dwindle to explosive bursts. Luka orchestrates with the freedom of a maestro, unburdened by overwork, and the defensive rotations morph into a ballroom dance of precision and intimidation. It's a seductive vision, and yet the tension remains cutthroat. Because every move towards that fantasy risks unraveling not just a roster, but the very psyche of the franchise, the intangible chemistry forged in the crucible of victory and defeat. As a Laker till I draw my last breath, I can feel the earthquake rumbling under the season. Now tell me what's rattling your soul, because the firestorm hasn't even peaked.